Malian, then video the audience logic and critical thinking unit 2 basic concept of logic. Like a video on the video nam channel lot logic to which kind benefits of logic. Unit 2 to argument to which kind of the argument. One of the premise and conclusion. Video the audience go banaban lesson order which are techniques of recognizing argument. Duk to dong the con argument ngay kada. Mabana gui guamina which are recognizing argumentative passage. Tema dong mama chuala non recognizing non argumentative passage. La duk daro dial dono. Lokan kon go ta dong the con argument the con ngay kada. La ke video mana bana gui recognizing argumentative passage. La ta dong the con argumentative passage the con ngay kada. Evaluating argument about different issues in human lives, like those that address religion, politics, ethnic, sports, science, love, culture, environment, society, culture, etc. Is the central concern of logic. Why no good run argument to latka religion, politics, sport, science, local, culture, society keep watching nothing. Why wedge losing wedge argument like an young? Why didn't you didn't long he de la logic balata? Therefore, as logicians, in order to evaluate arguments easily, we need to understand the nature of arguments, and further we need to understand what argument is and is not, because not all passages contains argument. Wa circulogician and goro da kon ngach and ta dong da kon argument gikede keno goro da kon ngach en ho ne mi la argument keno ne mi cha argument ko passage ne dial chicken take argument. Since logic deals with argument, it is important to students to develop the ability to identify whether the passage contains an argument. Ko logic with an argument, goro be student, goro be karang ngajan wo a passage take argument while tell argument. In general way, a passage contains an argument if prompt to prove something. Wa men la the passage take argument la goro te melada. La goro team could prove. La ladder come, la ladder premise, well a conclusion, then Mokwala goro lark. La it's prompt to prove something. If it does not so, it does not contain an argument. Or amateur one or team could prove one monichi argument. But what does it mean to prompt to prove something? Why mulodo dong dad or dahanyo? Mulodo, what does it mean? To prompt to prove something, to purport to prove something. Two conditions must be fulfilled for passage to purport to prove something. Why no the passage in northern way it goro la it goro could prove what it or goro there. At least one of the statement must claim to present evidence for reason. Why a statement can goro da evidence down? Premise there must be was a maniam statement kel ki wawunyam wa goro da door da claim ki da no da no da come goro no da kola. Rather, there must be a claim that alleged evidence or reason supports or implies something. Wa roda goro de dohorda ten makwala goro de lar kimada koni cholo conclusion. That is a claim that some things follow from alleged evidence. Kima goro de lar a premise. La manyam goro da to premise roda goro da to Manam goro da the premise, malwa conclusion, or the conclusion, makwala luck. As we have seen earlier, the statement that claimed to present the evidence or reasons are the premise, and that the statement that the evidence is claimed to support or imply is a conclusion. Kaladi kono bidenen wa ma kudor le nyoki mala gor ba dor lat ma jwal premise no ma kwala lat ki evidence ma kwala lat ki ma kwala gor lat de premise ki gok dor ga wa then jwal conclusion. Hence, the first condition for the premise refers to premise as it tries to prove something. Wa karode kanu mendam lonu premise. Karode lonu conclusion. La de yana cabnon. It is not necessary that premise present actual evidence or true reasons, nor the premise actually do support the conclusion. Wa chi o ibu kon Thok kon lanichang. Ka premise dungu gui kon tha halwa karodin ke ki tha len karodin ge jan gui kon chu kon gui nya thong wa na ma tok gui kon relation dien ki me chwal inferential claim gui kon tha halwa karodin ge yeta me che tok la la na kai ni ka be guok de be long ko nyu do halwa karodin lo mana wada argument, but at least the premise must claim to present evidence or reason, and there must be a claim that evidence or reason supports implies something. Tenano goro da premise data gomo data menyoda data ka menyoda ki da reason da kalat ka conclusion. The conclusion they support la chứ còn bình nó Thok cái để mà Thok chứ còn bình nó là mình Thok cái we còn no reasoning cái we còn nó tha rom cái cho premise cái conclusion. First condition express the factual claim la condition ngam ki me chwale premise to call la no wa we the factual claim and deciding whether it is fulfilled often falls outside the domain of logic. Jan manam ki premise jan chwalo factual claim. Thus most of the attention will be concentrated on whether the second condition is fulfilled. The second condition express what is called an inferential claim. First condition to call a factual claim. A factual claim why fails outside the domain of logic. La logic a long goal la de it fulfill ki can fulfill. Kono but attention and the shift the shift ka second condition ki ma actual conclusion la kana mani chwale inferential claim la go nyo the no re logica attention dan long bukona latka inferential claim ki bukola latka conclusion mi call the conclusion bukona kwiten wo lock karodian wal chicken lock and premise and conclusion. An inferential claim is simply the claim that the passage expresses a kind of reasoning process. Inferential claim why then what the new passage or the reasoning process which note that something supports or implies something or that something follows from some things. La gua inferential claim me look Carodian in premise kind of conclusion. Why they come to inferential claim. Also, you should recognize that this claim is not equitable with the intentions of arguer. Why claim and what guru do kon ngajano It's a par can a gore arguable. Because intentions are subjective. Co-intention is subjective. And as such, we usually not accessible to the elevator. Do no intention rather the inferential claim is objective features of the argument grounded in its language or structure. Do no actually inferential claim ku mita gor ke language wa de kon laran wo no me lo ro de ki chro lo do no intention go qui kon tele la dong de ko la nyu no intention mo go ran mete re charara do no me chwa inferential claim me cha goro kural ku ko lo ne reasoning process ta lo ngwa body Okay, in evaluating argument, therefore, most of our attention will be concentrated whether the second condition is fulfilled, because it is not necessary at least at this level that the premise present actual evidence or true, nor that to the premise actually support the conclusion. Wakono attention down long ray logica ki ray argument Bataka road came actually inferential claim. La menu doi something supports something. La ijan guamane betetanam. Chu actually factual claim. Chibetana konga oi premise la na to wala na kain. No betene jan gomu betene jan come actually inferential claim. Betene jan go oi luck rodian wal chika rodian luck and premise kind of conclusion. La jana goro lara me chukona gwejan so far no the no te me chwalo inferential claim deten la inferential claim man jan la kona gwejan re argument ka inferential claim ki no nyudra no ina mani tinen la nyudra no ina mani tinen kamu ke premise ka conclusion jan goro lara me chukona kwenon ke leo an inferential claim can be either explicit or implicit. While inferential claim da explicit, ki da implicit. An explicit inferential claim is usually asserted by premise and conclusion indicator. While mutually explicit inferential claim, inferential claim matijede komune matijede ke indicator word. Don't da premise indicator. Ki dong da conclusion indicator word jeta de das der ten de since ten de because ten de hence ten de therefore ten and so on. It existed if there is an indicator word that asserts an explicit relationship between the premise and the conclusion. La explicit inferential claim the indicator word man the relation dung premise and conclusion the hanyot chitkata government the konu gamachu is my biological father gamachu then father daba there are no because my mother told so coach mamada lar ta government tijire ke because ka wodi jire ke because ka te mutual reasoning process ki quadruple proof ka titin the control explicit inferential claim ko wodi indicator what titin la government premise indicator titin kano te menyodo itina menene te menyodo igama chui gwandul man ko chalare nga ko chalare man so no man do kono chole argument ro go man me chole implicit inferential claim existed if there is an inferential relationship between the statements in the passage but the passage contained no indicator word mutual implicit inferential claim with the with the inferential claim, with the reasoning process, statement key premise kind of conclusion. With the modern premise kind of conclusion, block audience, no implicit man, tell indicator word, key tell because key they formed them, I'm not any intent bound on. Genetic modification of food is risky business. Genetic engineering can introduce unintended changes into the DNA of food-producing organisms, and thus changes can be toxic to the consumer. The inferential relationship between the first statements and the other two constitutes an implicit claim that the evidence supports something. Inferential claim đúng men nhầm cái này sentence rồi đó con nhô đầu tiệm mới nhô đầu tiệm mới nhô đôi bất cả tiệm mới nhô đôi genetic modification here risky business code the reason to change one chet committal genetic engineering can introduce unintended changes into DNA can changes that can be toxic to the consumer. Lot the altona genetic modification is risky business. Kono ko katele indicator word atan lan de ko larde de ko na lare implicit inferential claim. While sometimes it is difficult to identify whether the passage contains an argument, in deciding whether there is a claim that supports or implies something to keep an eye out for. While the time when the better don't imagine a passage take argument. While kono goro te raw to goro de kono manam indicate a word to kono give video power rather presence of inferential claim between the statement. Rather inferential claim come statement la inferential claim reasoning process and we lock audience la premise we lock conclusion one we go over in connection with this point. However, a word of caution is in order. Why chang no to con la ro de con indicator word de con key kada con inferential claim wa te de go ro de ko ro dan tit kada manam go the mere occurrence of indicator word by no means guarantees the presence of an argument. One which indicator word tell no argument. The presence of an indicator word does not mean that the existing indicator word actually and always indicates the premise on conclusion. Why no indicator word no indicator word argument pass money dong indicator money dong than the premise conclusion. Why no. Thus, before deciding what the indicator word indicates, a premise or conclusion, make sure the existing indicator word is used to indicate a premise or conclusion. Why? I'm can corner a premise indicator, key conclusion indicator. Go kono bukon judge pass a bukon bit of go bukon bit menu the no a premise, key the no conclusion, while mukwa use ne use it. Chitketa upon much China dara. That was since Madison invented the photograph, there has been many technological development. Why ko Madison telegraph which technological advance in pungwa long tikolo ben kor. Since Madison invented the telegraph, he deserves credit for the major technological events. Coach Madison the phonograph they invent kitchen goro they come lut ke advancement even ko la sentence in mugiran jerian take a dagalong la since ka first woman knew the no tam la we knew the no kokor kami chi Madison the photograph le it's a technological advancement no one long chicken don't know quella scenes ka example road more than no reason ki more than no eko coach Madison tenamelel goro de kon lot ki goro de kon lot ke a technological advancement to ko plan man example la road nyo kan titi long lo nyo de jan no no ti indicator what it then nyo no ni chiang to conclusion kan nyo no ni chiang to conclusion kan premise then to no goro de kon di jwar de kon go ko mena monata wala premise ki da wala conclusion before coming to decision ara road go men ma chawe de ko road antit kida. It is not always easy to detect the occurrence of an inferential relationship between the statement of the passage. Wa katangun wa chatang ni chiang no de kon inferential claim pre passage de kon ejek wa chatang ni chiang. And the reader may have to review the passage several times before making a decision. Wa a reader kira mo kwena goro da passage da kwena katungwan ngoda kan ni top decision. Therefore, in deciding whether a passage contains an argument, one should try to insert mentally some indicator words among the statement to see whether there is a flow of ideas between the statements. Why? Komodong da bedrong why diram kwena ki diram lingon kwela a statement and a core statement beyond will be indicator one bekalata la mi chikalata ni bichu gid medong wega kel if there is the flow of ideas no idea no ga kel ko chi indicator mo lata dong no man da di nyot do ina mane da premise kin mane da conclusion wa broad mo ke imaginary ke indicator to belatan ka widu ba mi te jordan we dong beje ta dong do kon inferential claim nikina even with mental experiment wa do no chang mo kon mental experiment len wa ka tangon badong do kon jego bit. As a result, not everyone will agree that every passage wa ko no ko dong chukon da mal re ko ni dia le chicken hodi in a link passage. Sometimes the only answer possible is conditional one. If this passage contains an argument, then there are premise, and that is a conclusion. Wa do no kola teacher conditional don't kala na ro de mala link gon. To assist in distinguishing the passage that contain argument from those that do not, it is important to identify the passage that contain argument that do not contain argument and non-argumentative passage. One of con argumentative passage no chukon bu peko ngi kon melod argumentative passage wa goro de kon ngat ba kan chwale non-argumentative passage la bana quick video dong ni mo kwa summarize chukon video due to dong do kon passage like ke man yamu wa goro da the conclusion the goro da the premise kim to alin for factual claim to alin conclusion he to alin inferential claim la inferential claim why then mo kon focus dar la tanon re logica ka wa minyo do in me take a passage or not goro be indicator one be gwich me argument or not goro be indicator one be gwich the goro be inferential relationship be gwich kan no go wa ti de ko ro dan ti ke eno ti indicator go de tan chan chen no 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 man da premise indicator ki a conclusion indicator kene go inferential claim ta mala je kan chan goro de ro mo imaginary indicator daran galatan dong do karan loko de ran passage ngi nama mi argument wala chi argument wanda jan pe video kan mana dia de chata meto de cha jaktan ban rom ke video dong ane chiloy da test